Okay, welcome to week 5. This week CSM, we would begin with fruit baskets. The instruction is to fill in the fruit basket class so that it becomes a proper iterable. The goal is to iterate through the fruit basket so that we only return the non-spoiled fruit. So let's look at the skeleton code a little. We are given the fruit class with a potentially useful Boolean method called isBoid. And we also have another class called fruit basket with an array of fruit called fruits. There is also a private class called fruit basket iterator within fruit basket with a instance variable of type int called index. So the two fundamental necessary contextual knowledge that can help us a lot with this question is that iterable and iterator, there are interfaces in Java. So object implements them, and object class needs to implement the methods declared in the interfaces. So what are iterable and iterator? When an object implements an iterable, it is telling you that it can iterate over itself with an iterator method. And an iterator method, it calls the constructor of an iterator object. In this case, it is the fruit basket iterator. An iterator is the tool or machine that does the iteration work with methods such as hasNext and next. So let's look at the implementation of the code. As explained earlier, fruit basket would implement the iterable interface. When fruit basket iterator would implement the iterator interface. And at the constructor of fruit basket iterator, we know that instance variables are normally instantiated at the constructor. So we can write out the start index first. We also know that when an iterator is being instantiated, we are at the start of the fruit array, so it will just be 0. Okay, so for the next two methods, we know that hasNext, it basically tells us that is there any more unspoiled fruit, and it will skip over the spoiled fruits and then returns true if there is the next unspoiled fruit. And for the next method here, it would also do the iteration work. It returns the unspoiled fruit at the current index of the array and updates the index to the next fruit, the next unspoiled fruit. Yeah. Okay, so we also know that in Java, an iterator throws no such element exception when we are out of bounds of the array. Okay, so let's try to translate the code a little bit. If we are not out of bounds, meaning that we still have upcoming fruits, then we would return the current unspoiled fruit, which is informed to us by index, and we also update index to the next fruit. Oops, this means that to avoid us returning the wrong fruit, this means that we need to save the returning object, like our current fruit, before updating our index. Okay, so we can now just return card. Okay, if that is not the case, like if we are out of bounds, then we can just throw new no such element exception with an arbitrary error message, like no unspoiled fruits. Sad. Okay, yeah, so that's basically what we need to do for the next method. For hasNext, it basically tries to tell us that if there is any more unspoiled fruit. So, and we know that index informs us of the position we are at on the array. So if I have like 5 fruits and my current index is at 5, that means that, oh my God, we are already out of bounds, right? So in that case, if index is larger or equal than fruits dot length, we would return false. Like in this case, because we are skipping over spoiled fruits, we cannot directly return true for the opposite case. Because like as we are skipping over the spoiled fruit, our index will be updated. So what we can return is that after all the skipping, we can check whether our index is still legal, meaning if our index is still lesser than the length of our array. Okay, let's try to think about the process of actually skipping. If my index is 1 for now, say I'm at the index 1 fruit. If it is spoiled, then I would increment my index to 2. If fruit 2 is also spoiled, then I would increment my index to 3. If 3 is unspoiled, then I would want my incrementation of the index to stop at fruit 3, right? So this seems like we can use a while loop. Okay, so we want to keep skipping if we have a spoiled fruit. So if the current fruit is spoiled and we still have the next fruit coming along, then we would want to update our index. We also want to update our current fruit. We also want to make sure that our current fruit is being saved to the current variable before entering the while loop. So here it is. And yeah, that basically sums up what we need to do for the problem. Cool. Thank you.